Hello, it's Rachel from Orange Grove Nursery, and I wanted to introduce you to some of my keeper reborns. And I'm going to do a sort of nursery tour, but this nursery tour requires you to have a big imagination because this is a desperate work in progress. My nursery room is going to have a total rehaul. It was used, I think, as a bedroom by the people that had the house before us, and then we just used it as storage until I had the idea to turn it into my nursery. In the meantime, it is a very cold room and I can't spend very much time in it during the winter, so bear with me. It's a very much work in progress, but I'm keeping some of my babies down here in the bare room, I call it, because I'm trying to cheer the place up and get my mind going towards making it into a nursery. And I told you that I call it spare room, and if anyone is familiar with the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, you'll recognize that phrase. And so I decided to go with that theme for my nursery, and here is the entrance to my nursery. I have some fur coats, some are real, some are fake, but this is supposed to look like the wardrobe. Obviously, it will look better when I have it finished, but this is the entrance. So you go through the wardrobe into the pine forest. Let me turn on the light. And I have a pine tree on the left and a pine tree on the right. And then you make your way in, and this cardboard tube here is a stand-in for my post that I'm going to have. I'm going to have a post light, and it will actually light up with the room light. And I'm going to convince my husband to make me some nice shelves. But until then, I have just some plastic shelving for my bins of reborn supplies. And here are 3 of my dolls. They are not reborns, but I put them in here because this is sort of my doll room too. And down here, you'll meet the first of my keepers. This is Gabriel Harrison. He was the first swap baby I ever got from Karen Valton, and he came with a sister. I was working out a trade with Karen. I was going to sew for her, and then Karen was going to reborn Jill for me. So I knew I was getting Jill. I didn't know that my swap partner was Karen, so I got 2 at the same time. So they're twins, Gabriel and Jill. And when poor Jill came, she had such a rough time of it. The post office did not treat her box well, and she lost most of her hair. So my friend Tina Bloomfield was kind enough to reroute it for me, and she just does a wonderful job. It's so beautiful. And through all the mess into the crib is a work in progress keeper of mine. This is Sarah Gorilla. My favorite animal is monkeys and gorillas, and so as soon as Bountiful Baby had gorilla kits, I knew I had to get one. So I reborned her a couple years ago as a birthday present to myself, but I haven't done any rooting yet. So there she sits waiting. And here's a work in progress. He's not a keeper though. This is not a reborn, but this was my favorite baby doll growing up. This I called Little Rachel because she had curly hair like me, but she's got some kind of a sickness, I call it. So I can't snuggle with her too much anymore, poor little Rachel, but she was my favorite doll growing up. And then in the middle of my nursery, I have a table, which I plan to do some working on, and Dolly Days, workshops, and whatever. And here is another you have to use your imagination thing, because we have this freezer for sale, and until it gets sold, we have to keep it in here, and it's in the way. But here's a dresser I plan to repaint, but I have some of my reborn clothes in it. And up on top I have my Moses basket, and inside I have a reborn that I plan to make into baby Jesus as a keeper. And then I have a Christmas theme Precious Moments doll. And down here I have Annie. She was a swap baby. And here is Mace Windu. He's a work in progress, not a keeper. Here are 3 that are just empty kits right now. They'll be keepers for me when I get the chance. There will be my son, my youngest son, and my daughter. They're all Eliza Marks kits because I wanted them to look like siblings, and they do look a lot like my children did when they were babies. So when I get a chance, I'll be reborning them as portrait babies. And here are 2 more swap babies. This is Violet and Tegan, all snuggled in. And more mess until I get shelves. But I have some vintage toys and a porcelain doll and a Behringer lady. Some Japanese anime dolls that I made a while ago. And a little, you can't really see them very well, Crookshanks from Harry Potter. And this is a doll my mom made for me when I was little, before Cabbage Patch were popular. So I think they were called So Sweet, but my sisters and I all got one, and this was mine. And here are 2 keeper toddler reborns that you can't tell are reborns, but they are dressed like Jawas from Star Wars. I bring them to Star Wars events with me and my R2-D2. I will introduce you to my R2-D2 later. And then I have a photo area all set up. It's another work in progress. I can't do too much with it when the room is still needing a lot of help, but here is the last baby I have in the nursery right now, and this is Tina Elise. I adopted her from Tina Bloomfield of Bloomfield Bonnie Babes Nursery. And in keeping with the theme for Theme Thursday, she's wearing her wild and fun shoes with her wild and fun socks. So I just wanted to introduce you to them. I will introduce you to the babies I have in the master bedroom in probably the next video. Thanks for watching.